Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Tuesday morning, the 20th day of June, 2023. This is the morning briefing. And man, for many areas, it was a chilly start to the day. Truckee at one point was 27 degrees first thing this morning. A lot of areas around Tahoe were down in the mid 30s. A lot of foothill spots were down in the mid 40s. And on the valley floor, upper 40s to low 50s for overnight lows. The average overnight low for Sacramento for this time of year is 59. And so, yeah, obviously it was well below that. And it will continue to be a good looking day, but cool for this time of year. Comfortable, highs around 80. Perfect for working outside, playing outside, whatever it might be. But just cooler than you might expect. And I think that's going to continue through the week. But that's one of the things we're going to talk about as we go through the briefing this morning. A couple of things I want to get to. One, I usually start by showing you the satellite, and this isn't any different this morning, but I noticed something this morning. First off, we have this low spinning around up here, and we have seen rain. It snowed yesterday on Shasta. See the motion here? Clouds dropping down from the north. On this side, clouds coming up from the south. But I noticed this little feature right here. You see this little feature right in here? That is smoke that is currently going over Mendocino County, and it looks like it's going over areas around the Buttes, so maybe into Marysville, maybe into Chico. It is a thin line of smoke. We haven't been seeing any of this, and I know it's a small detail, and this will take a second to load up, but we still have the fires going on up here. And if you look at the motion, that smoke right here, you can trace it coming all the way down off the ocean and then sweeping into California. Now, it doesn't look thick like what we saw, those pictures from New York City a couple of weeks ago. It's some relatively high elevation smoke, but still, you may notice a slight milkiness to the sky in some areas today because of that. Now, I also want to widen out a little bit more because we are, of course, close to the solstice, and as I widen out even more, let this go up a little bit. Let me do this. I do want to point out that we are seeing this nice angle of the sun here as it crosses the globe. And of course, as with the solstice being during the day tomorrow, this is that sun angle with the northern hemisphere being more exposed to the sun, the southern hemisphere getting into winter conditions. But yeah, so there's the solstice, and then during by the time we get to 3 months from now for the equinox, that line, instead of cutting across at this angle, instead will be straight up and down as the sun rises. So really cool satellite image this morning. All right, this is the intertropical convergence zone down in here, the tropics, if you will. And speaking of the tropics on the other side, over in the Atlantic, do want to give you the latest on Tropical Storm Brett that formed yesterday. This is the latest from the Hurricane Center. And right now, it still only has winds of 40 miles an hour. It is expected to increase in intensity a little bit. But you see these icons keep these S's? That means tropical storm. That means the winds are under 75 miles an hour and all the way through the day on Saturday. Yesterday, the forecast from the Hurricane Center had it going up to hurricane status, and now it's staying more at tropical storm status. But still, it is likely going to cross the Caribbean islands, maybe somewhere around St. Lucia, north of Barbados, somewhere in there. We'll see how this actually pans out. But this is good news. And also the latest is that once it gets out here into the Caribbean, that it may actually be dissipating beyond this. And this is Saturday. So again, all of the forecasts that we do, all the forecasts that we show you come from the National Hurricane Center. We don't do any of this forecasting on our own, unlike what we do for Northern California. So we'll continue to follow this, but yeah, it looks as though that's good news that this storm will be dissipating. All right, let's talk about Northern California weather and in general, just what's going to be happening here, because our cooler than average weather is going to continue. Here we are first thing this morning. There's that deep trough, and with the fires burning up here, you notice that area of smoke swinging around just like that. So as we go through the next couple of days, that trough sticks around, although it weakens somewhat and the temperatures will modify. So all valley temperatures will be around 80 today. As we get later in the week, temperatures will be into the mid 80s perhaps. And then that trough finally kicks out during the day Friday. So mini ridging here on Friday, so we may see a bit of a warm-up on Friday. And then the next trough takes shape. This one also looks as though it could be quite cool. And this flow right here also will have the chance of maybe giving us some Sierra thunderstorms over the weekend. Far from certain at this point, but if you're going to be around Tahoe this weekend or Plumas County, we may be seeing the chance of thunderstorms. This is getting into Sunday. Monday, that low still sticks around. This is Monday, Tuesday. Now, here's the key feature. Maybe one of the things you've been hearing about is the heat in Texas. Well, there is the classic high right in here, and that helps to give the heat to the areas in the south, the southwest. So there's the ridge. Here's our trough. Well, the thing that we're going to have to look for is when one of these troughs lifts out, one of these days, this high is going to sneak back to the west, maybe set up over Arizona or the Four Corners, helping to bring us some warmer weather. Now, this is the 27th, so this is a week from today. And as we go beyond that, this is getting into, let's see, here's June 30th. That high beginning to expand a little bit while the high is still centered over, let's say, Amarillo. Temperatures will definitely be warming next week, if this model's right. I mean, this doesn't look classic, if you will, but this certainly looks warmer. Look where the high is now. Now it's over New Mexico, and our flow has definitely changed. So it does look as though the first part of July, yeah, like look at this pattern right here. Now the high is over Phoenix. That would be a much warmer day, and that is July the 3rd. Well out there, we're talking a week and a half out. So I'm not, there's a difference between a forecast and a fact. So I'm not saying that, we're going to see 100-degree temperatures for the 4th of July weekend or anything like that. But what we are looking at is cooler than average weather for the rest of this week. That much is certain. That is in our forecast. Next week, it does look as though we have the chance of starting to warm up. But that's one of the things we'll have to keep an eye on. We are well past the average date of our first 100-degree day. We aren't to a record or anything like that for our first 100-degree day, but it is late. And, one of these days, this pattern is going to shift, and we will shift into, well, let's say more typical weather for this time of year. But not today, not this week. That's everything I've got for you this morning on the morning briefing. Let's see, it's Tuesday. I'll be on KCRA at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. And because it's Tuesday, there will be a Facebook live chat tonight at 8 o'clock. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.